Okay, it's a fairly grim Sunday afternoon here in Plymouth. It's a bit wet outside, typical summer weather. So I thought I'd potter around the workroom and do a bit of tidying and maybe steam an engine. So just for this afternoon, here's a pleasant little unit. This is a 1967 SE2. This is connected to the 4 basic tools via the normal line shaft. Line shaft is about late 50s, early 60s. The SE2 itself is around about 67, probably one of the last batch made. It's got the characteristic hammered green paint and some other small detailings which set it apart from the earlier versions from the late 50s and the early 60s. So it's just about nearing capacity now, ready to steam, and we'll give it a little try and see how this fella runs. So you see the SE3 type regulator handle. These are a little bit later now because the earlier ones were a plain design, and we'll give this one a try. Just about getting there. So while that one's just coming up to steam, we'll just have a look at some of the other details. You can see, it's an SE3 crank on this. The tools date from probably 60s. They've got the minty green paint as opposed to the more sage green 1970s variety. And let's give them a try now. And there you have it. Very pleasant little unit. It's got the later scalloped edge decal. It came in from around about 65 onwards. And you can see it's running these 4 tools quite okay, although the hammer seems to be going in the wrong direction. So what we'll do is take that one off for the moment, and what I'll normally do with these, I'll just flip it around the other way. Just bear with me while I do that. And what we'll do is then we'll just bear with me while I just pop this one on. Obviously it decides to do this on camera, but there you go. I'll carry on talking while this is trying to get this on. Let's try again. And there you have it. I've just flipped the band around. It's a little bit on the tight side while it was labouring a little. So there you have it. It's all been thoroughly oiled. And these are pleasant little runners. You say, by about 67, these were the last ones which were probably made. And it's for all intents and purposes is exactly the same as the SE2A, except for the reversing lever on there. And obviously the superheating disappeared, and they had the smaller safety valve fitted. And it's running quite well. So the line shaft is from about 1960, the tools from the mid-60s onwards, and the engine itself is around about 67. So you can tell because of the design of the regulator on here, and we've got a characteristic hammered green paint, and obviously later turn brass whistle, and the normal lamp that we've all come to expect now. And so it runs very, very well. This is all fitted to a Meccano girder chassis, and then just bolted into position. And runs exceedingly well. I just pull back, and you can see obviously it's sitting on my workbench. I tinker around with bits and pieces. Tubs of Meccano and odds and ends. Various boxes for steam engines. And if I just pull around, you can see the iMac, and then the rest of some of the engines I've got up here, and that's where they reside. So there you have it really, a 1967 SE2, full Mamod workshop, and steaming rather well. It's starting to speed up now. You can tell by the beat of the hammer. And notice the hammer's got a thinner rimmed flywheel, very characteristic of mid-60s onwards. As does the power press behind. Really does fly when this one gets into its power band and it's really cooking. And not bad for a 40-year-old toy steam engine.